Okay, I think we are up now, and I just want to make sure we're good. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mike Slayton. I'm with the Louisville Pride Foundation, and I'm here with Troy Burden, the Executive Director of the Highlands Community Ministries. I got your name right, didn't I?
You got it right.
Good, okay. I just had one of those moments. I didn't write it down. So we're here, we're going to talk about some of the opportunities that are available for people who need help in the COVID situation that's going on right now. And we're also going to talk about some of the things that people can do to help them, because they are definitely in need of volunteers and donations and things like that. You can post comments on Facebook, and I am going to do my best to keep an eye on them and be able to answer them. This is only the second time we've done this, so I hopefully will be able to do that. A couple things before we get into it. Again, like I said, I'm with the Louisville Pride Foundation, and we've been working with the Fairness Campaign to help coordinate LGBT organizations and people in response to the COVID situation, trying to make sure that LGBT people have access to resources and are also able to help. There's a lot of folks who would normally be doing something else but have time on their hands. So if they're healthy and able to help, we want to be able to get them out there, get them mobilized to help where needed. We've been talking with a lot of social service providers, and we're going to do some more of these videos, probably 2 or 3 times a week, to get information out. I do have a couple things I want to share. You can always go to our website, which is louisvillepride.com, and if you do louisvillepride.com/COVID-19, there's also a button on our homepage. It'll give you some links to news and updates, resources, job opportunities, things like that. A couple of things I just put up there this morning. TARC has gone to essential services, essential trips only. So people are discouraged from being on the bus unless they are going to get necessary supplies for services, medical appointments, groceries, things like that, for themselves or for a family member or friend or pet, or if they're going to work and they're an essential employee in a life-saving, life-sustaining business. Kentuckiana Works has a job board that's being updated daily with places that are hiring for people who are in need of work. And you can go to kentuckianaworks.org/jobs to see that. Metro March for Meals was distributing frozen meals to seniors. That program has ended. They distributed about 83,000 meals over 3 weeks. They're moving back to the regular Meals on Wheels program. They've added several hundred people through the March for Meals to that. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, you can go to our website. There are opportunities for meal delivery. And also, one of the things we talked about on our call the other day was the city is working hard to keep homeless and unsheltered people safe. I'll probably do an update on that later on, but they're doing some things like putting porta potties and hand sanitizing stations at encampments to keep people, allow people to keep clean and keep sanitary. And they're doing what they can to provide social distancing in shelters, and then opening up additional shelter spaces to accommodate for the loss of beds that's going with that. So those are a couple of updates real quick, and then wanted to talk with Troy about community ministries and what it's about. So Troy, can you just kind of tell us a little bit about community ministries of Louisville?
Absolutely. So there are 13 community ministries in Louisville. I am the executive director of Highlands Community Ministries, and we serve the 40204 and 40205 zip codes. But every zip code in Louisville is covered by a community ministry. The community ministry sprang up from changes in neighborhoods in the 70s in the urban district, and then spread to the suburbs through the late 70s and early 80s. It was a real grassroots effort and bringing neighborhoods together. The purpose of community ministries is to keep people in their homes. So we do not provide services for homeless folks. We do provide some food here at Highlands Community Ministries for homeless folks, but at the end of the day, the majority of our work and outreach is for people who live in the neighborhoods. Louisville's a great city because we have so many neighborhoods, and people, if you ask somebody where they're from, they'll say they're from the Highlands, or they're from Phoenix Hill, or from different parts of town, and have a real sense of association and community. It also helps us bring together volunteers and people to help provide services. The community ministries, almost all of us have food pantries, and we are partners with Dare to Care. So if you live, you can go to the Dare to Care website to see which food pantry you should go to. And but most of the community ministries offer a food pantry. Highlands Community Ministries and others also do the USDA commodities for seniors and disabled citizens, where they get a monthly box of USDA commodities, and then also can fill a food order from Dare to Care. The big thing that Highlands Community Ministries and the other community ministries offer, though, is rent support, LG&E support, and Louisville Water Company support. We have grants through LG&E and the water company to help people pay those bills. And during different times of the year, there are programs to help people keep their utilities paid. And that's one of the things Community Ministries does. Neighborhood Place and the Metro Louisville also have the LIHEAP program, which actually they've just extended. So currently, if you need help with LG&E, you need to contact Metro Louisville through Neighborhood Place, and they can help you with your LG&E bill. If you need help with water, you need to look for your community ministries. We have a Association of Community Ministries website called ministriesoflouisville.org, and it lists all of us and our contact information. And there's also a zip code directory, which if you just look for your zip code, and it'll tell you which community ministry to reach out to. Louisville Water Company, we can help up to $300 to $400 with water bills right now. So if you need to allocate your resources carefully, it would be a good time to contact your community ministry to get assistance with your water bill. We also, in partnership with the Community Foundation of Louisville, the association just got a $350,000 grant to help with utilities and mortgage. So if you know that you're going to struggle paying rent this month or next month, you need to get in contact with your community ministry. Normally we do a pledge process, but for this money, we are able to help each person with up to $1,000 in one go of assistance. And so for in the Highlands, it's hard to find an apartment for rent less than $1,000 a month. So we're very happy with the Community Foundation partnership that we're going to be able to help those folks. But of course, these funds will go through them pretty quickly. So be sure to contact your community ministry for that rental support. After May comes along, we'll be helping with LG&E. But for now, like I said, you need to go to Neighborhood Place with Metro Louisville. So community ministries are all about keeping people in their home, keeping people in their community and connected to their community. And of course, right now we're struggling with keeping people connected because they can't come here, or if they do come here, just in few people at a time for the food pantry and for emergency assistance appointments. All of our community classes and senior programs are all canceled for now. We are delivering Meals on Wheels, and many of the community ministries do Meals on Wheels delivery. But you can go to Metro Louisville Senior Nutrition site and say you want to volunteer, and they'll hook you up with somewhere near your home.
And I think, at least for me, it kind of cut out there for a second. So if people, the last part you were saying, they could go to where?
If you want to volunteer for Meals on Wheels, the best place right now is to reach out to Metro Senior Nutrition, and they will connect you to either a community ministry or another organization that's delivering meals. Meals on Wheels is only utilizing volunteers at the age of 60, which has put a real strain on our volunteer base because most of our volunteers are retired folks because Meals on Wheel deliveries are in the morning. Right now, it's just once a week. Normally, it would be 5 days a week, but for now, it's 5 frozen meals once a week, and the distribution is based on location.
So would you say that the primary need you all have in terms of volunteers is drivers, people who can do those deliveries?
Absolutely, or volunteer to work in the food pantry. We're doing our best to do social distancing, and we have masks or ask people to bring their own. But we are still having people come in for food orders and pick up produce and bread that we have. And all of the community ministries are open, and all of us are doing our best to meet these needs. But we do need volunteers. There's a volunteer page on the Association of Community Ministries Facebook page, which you can go to. And then, of course, we always can use cash donations, and there you can either donate to Highlands Community Ministries or to the Association of Community Ministries through their Facebook page.
And I posted the link to the Louisvilleministries.org in the comments here, which has all that information. There are 13 ministries.
There are currently 13 community ministries, yes. Some of them, Highlands serves 40204 and 40205. Some of the community ministries serve more zip codes than that, but they just kind of grew and evolved with the different neighborhoods and the different groups. Most of us are supported by local congregations, and that's how we get our boards. But I can assure the LGBTQ community that we are open and we are willing to serve all populations and all communities, and you won't run into any type of discrimination through your community ministries.
And that goes for all the sites throughout the county.
Absolutely.
That's good to know. And then, so just a couple of things to sort of clarify. If people need help with food, if they need food assistance, is there a income level? Are there qualifications, or is it open to anyone?
It's pretty much open to anyone through the Dare to Care food sites. If people are seniors, they have to qualify for that additional commodity distribution, and we can help people fill out their paperwork and get that together for that commodity box. Generally, if you are in Section 8 housing, you will qualify if you're over 60 years old or are disabled. But for a regular food order, anybody can come in, and we just ask that you bring a piece of mail to prove your address and ask how many people are in your home. And so you can get a food order once a month at this time through the Dare to Care food distribution sites, and then pop-up sites you can go to as well if needed through Dare to Care. The Dare to Care website has a list of the locations, or you can reach out to them to find the one nearest to you.
But your community ministry, your local community ministry, would be a good starting point for all that sort of work if you're not sure what you qualify for.
Absolutely. If you're not sure, just call the community ministry near you, and we can help you sort that out. There's also a good, I just thought of it, there's also a good website called Louis Connect, Louie Connect.com, and you put in your address, and you can, you don't put in your address, it finds your location on a smartphone, and you can look at what services are available based on gender, age, etc. So it's also a good way to find agencies that can help you. So it's louisconnect.com.
That's great. There's a lot of folks, I think, who are in a situation where they are in need of help, but you know, they've never had to access that before. They don't really know how to do that. I finally figured out how to look at the comments on there. Luckily, there's not a million burning questions. So looks like Jeremy posted Louis Connect in the chat there. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folks who don't necessarily know how to go about getting access to this information or these resources. So let's talk a little bit again about the utility and the rent and mortgage assistance. I know you said that Community Foundation of Louisville has done a $350,000 grant from the One Louisville COVID Response Fund to pay for people to stay in their homes. And that's, correct me if I'm wrong, that's limited to $1,000 a person, or did you say that had been waived on this one?
No, it's $1,000, which would be the max per person.
And then people need to have proof of their lease. They have to bring their lease with them, right? And they have to bring ID.
You need to have an ID, you need to have your lease, and you do need to have an idea of what your income was and kind of where your income is now based on the current situation. This money is set aside for people who are affected by COVID. So if you normally couldn't pay your rent and nothing's really changed, this money is not for that purpose. This money is to help people who have been laid off, whose hours have been cut, or who have extra expenses due to the COVID-19 crisis that we're in. So the intake workers with each community ministry will help people work through that. Most of us are just doing appointments over the phone and getting documents through email or through other means, but we'll be able to work with individuals. Neighborhood places, which are run by Metro Louisville, are also a good option. They do have some rental assistance available, and I'm not sure the details if they're waiving the work requirements right now, but normally they have a work requirement, whereas community ministries have not had a work requirement for rental assistance.
Awesome. And so we talked a little bit about, you can always use donations, and people can go online and they can donate. You need volunteers to help with driving, help with distributing in the pantry. Is there anything else that people can help with, or anything that people can do to help you all, or just help out in this time?
I mean, really right now, that's about it. I mean, we will take food donations. Normally at Kroger or Value Market, you see those bags and barrels where you can donate food. So we do have volunteers picking those up, and retailers generally donate day-old bread or things, a fruit that's not as pristine as it once was, to the pantries. But since the groceries are struggling to restock, although they're getting better, so those donations to us have been down. However, we're starting to see those tick back up. But, and of course, toiletries and cleaning supplies our clients always need, because you can't purchase those types of things through food stamps. And so it's helped people stretch their dollars. So toothpaste, deodorant, feminine products, shampoo, all those things, if you're picking up stuff like that, we can always take those donations. You'll need to check with each site to see when they're accepting donations. For example, for HCM, we're 10 to 12 Monday through Friday, so we can always take donations while volunteers are here. But if you can't make it at that time, a lot of times we have someone here who can accept the donation.
Do you anticipate anything changing as the situation gets more intense?
Well, most of us in the community ministries have seen a lot of need over the last several months, and it's only going to increase. So people are going to go through their savings, they're going to max out their credit cards, and I think we're probably going to be in more need in about 2 months' time. A lot of people were able to pay this month, but then they're not working, and unemployment, there's going to be a gap until unemployment or stimulus checks come out. So I think we're going to see an increased need. And then all of us in community ministries, we're small when it comes to our staff and volunteers. So, my biggest concern is, we're going to burn out, or somebody's going to get sick and we're going to have to close for a while. We're doing everything we can to avoid that. But I mean, that's just my concern as the executive director, because I've got my senior and emergency assistant staff working every day, and I'm coming in every day to make sure they're supported and help as well. So I guess that's my big concern. But I think in a couple of months, we're going to be really seeing the results of the fact that most Americans don't have $500 for unexpected expenses. And I think everybody's going to have $500 of unexpected expenses with regard to this crisis. We in the Highlands, have all the bars and all the restaurants, and all that's great, and we assist people sometimes who work in those industries, but they're, unless you're the cook or a cashier, you're not getting any. There's no tables to wait. So I do really worry about service industry staff and how they're holding up, particularly with us here in the Highlands.
Yeah, I mean, the economic impact of this is going to go on for a long time. And I mean, how many people were you serving before all of this happened?
So we were serving 10 to 20 people a day in the food pantry on a normal day, some days more, some days less. And now we're seeing that many plus every day. Mm-hmm. And Dare to Care has been great to respond to help us stock our pantry. It was looking really thin last week, but we got our Dare to Care shipment in this week, which helped. I don't think people always know, but Dare to Care does big bulk purchasing, plus they get food through federal government. So, they get cases and cases through, and then the retailers also donate to them. So they've been responding the best they can. And actually, I think you probably know they have the National Guard helping out in the warehouse at this point to keep it open, because most of their volunteers are 60 or older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really revealing a lot of the stress points in our society, and they're certainly not going to go away once everybody, once we're recovered and through this, we'll still have a need for this sort of assistance.
Vulnerable populations are going to be affected the most. Disenfranchised populations are going to be affected the most because of their inability to either work or maintain the work schedule that they did in the past. And then people who have any kind of underlying health conditions that were keeping them from maybe working at full employment, but were able to get by. I think those people are really, I'm really worried about them, and we're seeing them come through our doors. We're doing everything we can do to keep serving our Highlands community, and so are the other community ministries.
Well, thank you very much for everything you're doing, and all of them are doing, and for joining me here today. Hopefully this has been helpful for people finding out about how they can get access to food resources and financial resources to help with rent and utilities, and also if they're able to give back and volunteer and donate, how to do that. We're going to do another Facebook Live on Thursday at 1. We're going to talk about mental health, which is obviously going to be a big issue with this whole situation, and I think it's just going to continue to grow and grow. So we'll be talking to Eric Sharp, who is a marriage and family therapy associate in private practice here in Louisville. He's with Best Life Mental Health and has a lot of experience helping people with anxiety and things like that. And so he says he's seen a lot of that going on. So we'll be talking about that. If anybody has any comments or questions, please, let us know. If there's topics you want to hear about, anything like that, go to our website, louisvillepride.com/COVID-19, and you can see the information we're putting out there. Sign up for our weekly email updates. If there's anything you want us to share on there, let me know. Thank you very much, Troy. And
thank you.
I'm sure we'll be talking more about how we can help.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Bye.